Hope you guys are having a great day so far. Hope everything is going well. We're live for Strategy Sunday. So like I said, I hope you guys have a great day. Hopefully we all had a great week because Nvidia did exactly what I said would happen last week, right? So like I said, is that Nvidia made a lot of people hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars. A lot of you guys made a lot of money based on the Strategy Sunday for the last 2 weeks. A lot of people were able to change their entire life with what happened on Strategy Sunday over the last 2 weeks. People would still rather listen to different, they'd still rather do a lot of stuff. They'd still rather watch, I guess, brothers, what is that, brother husbands or whatever? So let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the world of finance. Before we start, I want to start with a story, right? Now, I've told this story before, but I just want to reiterate it because of what's coming in the future. So like I said, is that we got sound on YouTube because somebody's claiming they don't have sound every single week, man. So back to what I was saying. Let's move on. So the story I want to talk about, I'm going to block you, Tay Goddess. Blocked forever. All right. So like back to what I was saying. Let's move on. It was some of you guys know that I was one of my dreams in life, and it may sound silly, but it was one of my dreams, was to do the bull run in Pamplona, Spain. So I wanted to get into the bull run. For those of you who know what the bull run is in Spain, they have a yearly festival where they do bull fights every year, right? So every day, so they run the bulls from the stables to the stadium. People run alongside the bulls, and it's like a tradition. That's something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to do that, right? So I trained for it for 6 months, right? I trained hard because I wanted to be in this bull run. So I worked hard, trained, I ran, made sure I could run the full mile, without stopping, almost sprint a mile. It's a train for 6 months. So I get on a flight to Spain. I fight through all these crowds. I put on the white and red clothes. So I get to the bull run to run the bull run, and it's thousands of people there on TV. If you look at it on TV, it only seems like it's a few people. But actually, there's thousands and thousands of people. They wait there for the whole day, 24 hours ahead of time, for the chance to run with the bulls. Now, I couldn't run with the bulls because it was too many people. I got there 2 hours before it started. I didn't properly prepare or research for the bull run I knew was coming, right? I knew I wanted to do it. I practiced for it. I did everything else I was supposed to, but I didn't research what the bull run was about. So when I got there, I was unprepared, and I wasn't able to take advantage of one of my dreams. Now I watched it from the sides. So that was second best, but I didn't get to run with the bulls. So the reason I say this is because a bull run in crypto is coming. I've told you guys for years. Nvidia was nothing new. Nvidia goes up 40% in 2 days, almost 200% since we start talking about it. I've done this 7 times before. There's any time that I've 100% been certain of something. And I said, look, I'm 100%. Every time it's happened, I'm like 7 for 7 over the last 4 or 5 years. 7 for 7. I've never missed a prediction that I was certain on. I went down and said I was 100% certain. I've never missed a prediction. And they all been huge. Every single one has changed people's lives tremendously, right? So that's how we prepare for these things that are coming, right? Is that you have to be ready once they get here. You can't run with the retail investors. That's the crowds. That's the masses. Those are the people you don't want to be with, because when they come in, it's too late, because of a simple reason. Everybody can't get rich. That's a hard-coded truth in our society. Everybody cannot get rich. It's impossible. So how does it work? Well, when the masses come in, they're the ones that are going to lose. The masses never win. The system is not set up for the masses to win. They will always lose. So if you're with them, you will always lose as well. So you have to be ahead of them. You have to be ahead of the crowd, ahead of the bulls, ahead of the masses, ahead of those people, because those people who are in that groups will never win. And it's not because I'm putting them down, because a lot of smart people in those groups, a lot of intelligent people, a lot of hardworking people, but the society itself is what I'm talking about. They won't let them win. So you have to be ahead of them, right? So a lot of people have read my book. I appreciate you guys. Drop what you think about the book in the comments on Instagram and YouTube. Hopefully we got a lot of positive reviews so far. A lot of people got it over the last 2 weeks. People have read the whole book. If you want to get the book, it's on Amazon. It's The Strategic Millionaire. Let me see if I got a copy. I don't know where it's at. The Strategic Millionaire. It's on Amazon. We sold thousands of copies already. So it's, and I've heard people say it was like the modern spin on Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But I think of more as a Bible on that, on trends, and how to make money and how to have the proper mindset. So, like I said, one more thing I got to talk about, we got the event in New York, almost sold out. We got like 5 tickets left in person. We got 200 virtuals left. The price increase has already came in. It's $97 now. It was $47 a week ago for the virtual tickets. And in this event in New York City, June 10th, I've been right about 7 things that have made people hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I'm not lying, because you can ask the people in the chat and right now. Just say, hey, man, people will tell you. People been around. I can't lie about that. I've been 7 for 7 on big predictions over the last 4 years. Now, the next big prediction I have is quantum computing. 24-25, quantum computing is going to make a lot of people hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, maybe millions if you play it right. So in that event, June 10th, we're going to lay out a quantum computing play that's going to make a lot of people a lot of money, in person as well as virtual. So if you can't make it to New York on June 10th, it's about a 5-hour event. We're going to have a rooftop brunch. We're going to have a lot of guest speakers. We're going to have a rooftop bottomless mimosas for the VIP members. Chestnut Checkers group's going to be there. So if you can't get there, get the virtual pass. It'll be recorded, and you can get that as well. So let's move on. So I want to talk a little bit about the bull run of Bitcoin 2024. Now, a major analyst said that he sees that Bitcoin is going past 1 million in the year 2030, and I believe it. I would say that I believe that that's true, and I think that could possibly happen. I think it's almost guaranteed is eventually, with enough time, Bitcoin will pass 1 million. So if we're thinking about 2030, right now it's 2024 is the next halving. And like I said, my prediction is Bitcoin is going to be at the next halving, 24-25, Bitcoin's going to be at 300 to 400,000, maybe even more, because it's a bunch of reasons for that. One is because of the scarcity after the halving. 2 is because this time most retail investors are not going to miss it no more. So it's going to be a big rush for retail investors to come in. And then the last thing is probably is institutions are going to come in droves. So when those 3 things happen, Bitcoin is going to go up to 300,000-400,000. 10 times, 15 times where it's at today. Then it's going to be a retraction, probably down to 100 after all the hype is over. Then the next wave is going to send it over 1 million. So that would put us at about 27, 28, maybe even 30, where Bitcoin will pass $1 million. So like I said, is that I believe with enough time, Bitcoin can get over $1 million, right? Nobody knows what Bitcoin is going to be. Somebody just said crypto bay. Well, you're not sure if you're going to work in the morning. You could die in your sleep. You're not sure if you can drive to work. You're not going to die in a crash. You're not sure if a nuclear bomb is not going to be dropped on your city tonight. Nobody's sure of anything. We all make predictions and we infer from data and we say what probably most likely a bomb's not going to be dropped on us tonight. Right? So, where is Mark at? Mark, are you on the Instagram? Because I'm going to make you a moderator, knock some of these people out. Every time I make a big prediction, jealous people come in. They're all mad and stuff like that because they missed the prediction. Of course, a lot of you guys made a lot of money. They're angry. They're mad. They're angry. Hey, I didn't make the money. Yeah. No. That's how people are. They're very angry. That's why you got negative people in there today, because I'm going to make him the moderator. Hey, just made you the moderator, Mark, so knock these people out. So like I said, let's move on. So like I said, Bitcoin, I believe, is going to $1 million within, I would say, before 2030. I almost guarantee it. I would bet my life on it if I had to. Now we got to practice risk management because, you can't be stupid. Everything has risk and you got to always manage that. But you also make predictions and you base your life on predictions. Your entire life is based on what you think is most likely to happen. Everything you do is based on that. So there's nothing secure, but most things are probably going a certain direction. And we can infer that that's what's probably going to happen is going to happen. So I want to move on to something else, right? So let's get this open. Let me see. So I want to talk about something else that's happened. Now, Nvidia made a lot of people a lot of money, right? Nvidia made a lot of people a lot of money because we was able months ago to see that there was an AI trend forming. We were seeing that ChatGPT was coming out. We saw that a lot of other different AI applications were coming out. We saw that industries and we saw that companies were picking up this AI technology and using it extensively. Now, whenever a trend forms, we have to know where we are in that trend. Now, once companies and everything start getting on, we're already missed the innovation part of the trend, right? But there's always an echo. There's several echo. Whenever a trend forms, we talk about in my book, it's a pattern, right? It's always a pattern. And if you know where you are in that pattern, it's easy to make money. Now, where we are right now in the AI pattern is that we missed most of the pick and shovel part of the pattern. What that means is that we were able to buy those companies like AMD, like Nvidia, like a lot of other companies that were supplying the trend to AI. Right, so we may be able to make a lot of money on that. But now we're past that, right? So now we're in what I like to call the echo part of the trend. What the echo part of the trend is that we always have to be ahead of the retail investors, the masses, the group. We always got to be ahead of them. So you got to think what they thinking and be ahead of them. So what's going to happen over the next few months or next couple of maybe weeks even is that the masses are hearing about how much money people made with Nvidia and all these AI stocks. So what's going to happen now is that the masses are going to come in and buy them up, pushing the prices higher, but also pushing us closer to a correction or a crash. So people are looking for now the next Nvidia. They're looking at every chip company they could possibly look at to try to find the next Nvidia. And a lot of these stocks, AMD, Micron, all these other companies are going to benefit from Nvidia's rise over the next few weeks. AMD specifically. And we talked about this echo a couple of weeks ago, how AMD was going to echo Nvidia's rise, not as much and not as equal, but a little bit less. And AMD is going to rise now because of Nvidia and all the people hearing about Nvidia and trying to find the next Nvidia. So I want to talk about something else. People keep asking me, how long can Nvidia last? How long can this last, right? Because Nvidia did make a lot of people a lot of money quickly. So could this be over, or could it keep going, or could it end? Well, long term, I don't think Nvidia is going anywhere. I think Nvidia, like I reiterate my position again, Nvidia is going to be one of the most important companies on earth in a few short years. Right? In a few short years, it's going to be one of the most important companies on earth because of one thing, and it's called the chip wars. Right now, China and the United States are in a heavily contested argument over Taiwan. Now, for people that don't know, Taiwan is the biggest by far chip maker in the world. And there's generals in the U.S. Army that said that, off the record, that the U.S. would rather blow up Taiwan than let China get Taiwan. That's how important those chip factories are. Chips will be the new with AI revolution, with all these new technologies coming out in the new year, with quantum computing coming out in the next 2-3 years, technology is going to transform every single part of our life. It's going to find new efficient ways to do stuff, faster ways to do stuff, better ways to do stuff. It's going to take most of our jobs. We'll have new jobs, so don't worry about that. Everybody panics. Most of the menial jobs we do today will be done by robotics, done by computers, done by AI. So it's going to be a completely different world in 10 years. And the only way that's possible is with chips. And chips will become more important than oil over the next 10 years. Oil will be secondary to processors, chips, and all these other chips, silicon wafers, all of these things. It will be second to that. Taiwan will become the most important place on earth for chips. Like, it'll be contested like the Middle East. Now, people say, why can't we just build our own chip facilities? Because it's the same reason why countries can't just build nuclear bombs. Like, why can't other countries build nukes? It's just a bomb, because the way that they're built, you have to refine the nuclear material. You have to put in a centrifuge. You have to have all these scientists. It takes a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of research, a lot of input in order to make a facility that can produce nuclear bombs. That's the reason why every country, only like a few countries have them. And also, we're not going to let nobody else get them either. But, but besides that, it's still difficult to do it. So it's the same thing with chips. A chip facility is extremely hard and extremely difficult to build, maintain, and keep going. We can't just build them like that because it's a clean facility. It has to be in certain areas. It has to have a certain climate. It's not just because we can't just build it in New York. It don't work like that. That's the reason why it's going to be contested. Right? And the companies that control, and you remember back in the last century, the most powerful countries on earth were the oil companies. Now, we all know that oil companies were always accused of killing people who created electric cars. They were accused of doing this because oil companies had an incredible amount of power in the last century. The new century would be ruled by technology and more specifically, chip manufacturers. Nvidia and companies like Nvidia will be the most powerful countries on earth. Companies, I mean, not countries. So there's a lot of opportunities for people out there, if they can see this coming, to buy these chip makers. Nvidia also announced a dividend. So this is a long-term play. It's not short-term, it's long-term, right? So I want to talk a little bit about the next Nvidia. We're going to talk about the AI bubble that people are thinking it could be forming. And we're going to talk about Tesla and Ford. Then we're going to talk about the New York event coming up. Before we start, we're making the CNC. You guys think you made a lot of money on Nvidia outside the CNC. The CNC made a lot more money. The CNC is a group that we have, a 5-star community that provides information, instruction, accountability, stock picks, and signals. People that are in the CNC come to the events for free. You also have special perks, like they came to the Bitcoin conference for free in Miami. Anything, we give them free tickets, sometime to basketball games. I'm not saying that's part of the thing, but one time I gave away some free courtside tickets to the CNC to whoever was in Orlando at the time. So these things happen, but it's mostly about the knowledge. It's mostly about the community. It's mostly about the stock signals and stuff we send out, so people are in the know on which stocks are hitting certain markers, certain technical analysis that we're looking for. So, and people in the CNC on YouTube or on Instagram, drop the money bags if you made money last week, so people can see what we do in the CNC. If you want to join the CNC, DM me the word CNC afterwards, or you can go to jointhecnc.com, or you can click the link in my bio and learn more. Like I said, then we got the June 10th event in New York. Like I said, we got like 4 or 5. I think we got like 5 or 6 in-person tickets left. We got like 100 or so. See, somebody made 32 times their money on YouTube. And we had people make 90 times their money, 100 times their money. A few people made millions of dollars in the last couple of weeks. It's $67 a month. It actually, to be honest, and I'm going to say this before we move on, it should be $800 a month. I could charge $1,000 a month and I would still be giving you a deal. And to be honest, I believe that, I don't want to sound like I'm on soapbox here. I just believe that we all can make money and you can do stuff at a decent price for people. And I don't believe in like charging $50,000 for mentorships and stuff like that. I never believed in that. Or you know, some people do, but that's up to them. But I never believed in stuff like that. I just don't, because I believe in entrepreneurship. It could be a two-way street. We could both give each other value. So I want to move on to the next Nvidia. So now that Nvidia is growing a lot, there's a lot of companies out there that want to. And before we start, if you're on YouTube, like the content, and if you're already subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We got 114 likes, but we got like 800 people on the live, so I need y'all to like the content. So back to what I was saying is that the next Nvidia. I'm gonna raise the price to the CNC eventually. I mean, I just, you know, I keep the price low too long, to be honest. If you get locked in, you get locked in. I'm not gonna tell you I'm gonna raise it. I'm just gonna wake up one morning and do it. So back to what I was saying is that the next Nvidia could actually be Meta, because Meta has brought on some people. Like I said, I believe strongly in Meta long term. And I know some people say that they failed with the Metaverse and all this. I don't believe it's a failure. I think it's just happening slower than we thought. A lot of times we expect technology to happen overnight. It takes years for technology to integrate into our lives. That's why a lot of times the media and the pundits and all that stuff, they don't understand how technology is integrated into society. So when they hear about some new technology and it's not everywhere in a year, they always announce it dead. They've done that for every major technology in the last 40 years because they don't understand. They said cars were a gimmick. I remember back in the early 1900s, cars were a gimmick. They said that microwaves were a gimmick. They said, because the media doesn't really truly understand what they're looking at. They think that things are supposed to be instant. It takes years for a technology. People are very resistant to change. Very resistant to change. Right? So it takes a long time to get them to accept that change. So the metaverse is going to change all of our lives as well. And Meta is at the head of that. Now, I never liked Facebook before, but when Mark Zuckerberg made the initiative to go forward with Meta and the metaverse, I changed my opinion on him. And I believe that they're going to be the forefronts of this metaverse. I still believe in the metaverse. Like NFTs, I don't believe in them no more for what they were, the art stuff, but I believe in it for other applications. But I still believe in the metaverse. I think the metaverse is going to change a lot of lives, change a lot of things going forward. And I think that Meta is at the forefront of that. And they've already hired some key hires that are going to work on creating their own graphic processing units or their own chips. I think that's a good move for them. It's going to be a difficult journey though. But if Meta does pull this off, they'll have complete vertical integration on their headsets. They'll own the chips, they'll own the software, they'll own the hardware, they'll own everything, the software, everything. And when you have a vertically integrated company like that, they make incredible profits. So I think that Meta is moving towards vertical integration on their metaverse project. And if they're able to pull this off, Meta's going to be up there with Nvidia as one of the most powerful companies in the world. So I'm buying Meta going forward, right? So we touched on it a little bit, but I want to touch on it a little bit more. People ask me all the time, is AI in a bubble? Are we in an AI bubble? Nvidia grew a lot over the last 3 months. A lot of the AI companies grew a lot. And remember, if you guys remember, and I'm going to take a poll here. You can just put yes in the comment or on the Instagram. How many people remember me saying in January these words? I said, there's going to come a time when every single company that even has anything to do with AI is going to blow up. Remember I said that? I want to get a poll. How many people heard me say that about 3 months ago? Before all this started, I said every single company that's even attached to AI is going to blow up. Well, exactly what I said is happening right now. Any company that has any kind of remote attachment to AI is going to blow up over the next 3 weeks. And the reason is is because the retail investors are coming in. Now, and I'm a person that looks at data. I don't judge people. Either way, I don't judge anybody. I try to be as unbiased as possible. I'm a person that I try to look at data, the data that's incoming, and try to analyze the data regardless of how I feel about people, how I see them, how I hang out with them, whatever. That's how I feel I've been able to be successful, is looking at the data and trying to knock out all biases and anything that doesn't have, it's not black or white. And we touched on this a little bit. Retail investors are unsavvy. And it's not because I'm putting them down. It's not because they aren't smart enough. It's that the average person walking around is too busy watching football and sports and Hulu and all this stuff. So they don't really put their time in the right places. So they're not on Strategy Sunday watching this. So you guys are ahead of them greatly, right? So you're ahead of them. You know more than them. You're getting on the inside curve of the information faster than they do. So by the time it gets to them, it's close to being too late. It is a lot of them at once. So they all come into the market, which is going to happen over the next few weeks. So, and they're going to be manically looking for any stock that has anything to do with AI. And it's going to push them all up over 3 months. But the scary thing is that when the retails come in, it's creating a bubble. Because retailers are unsavvy and they're panicky. Because they don't have the knowledge or the understanding to be able to trade efficiently. So they panic and they're emotion driven or whatever. So that emotion driven trading, that panicky trading, that FOMO in, panic out type of trading that most retail investors do, cause that bubble to form, and the smart people start getting out as the retails come in. So as soon as you hear everybody, all these influencers talking about it, it's close to being over. But I'm not saying you can't keep making money. Nvidia is going to keep going up, but all these other little AI stocks that could make some money over the next few weeks, you got to play them carefully because the retail investors are starting to come in. But because the retail investors are not in yet, there's still opportunity to make money. They're going to start coming in over the next few weeks, but they're not in yet. So we're still early on this trend, but we just have to be careful, practice risk management, and watch for the retails to see when they come in. So last thing I want to talk about today is the Tesla and Ford partnership. Now, Tesla is also an AI stock. I know it sounds like a car company, but their future is in services. Battery swapping, the data they collect from their cars is going to be used to power self-driving cars in the future. They're going to license out their battery charging stations to many companies, including the U.S. government. They've already had some kind of deal with Biden. They just signed a second deal with Ford, that Ford is going to use their charging stations to charge their Ford electric vehicles. Now, a lot of people didn't expect this to happen. Like Ford and Tesla have been competing for the last 3 or 4 years, but it seemed like Tesla won because Ford has kind of gave up and said, look, we're going to use your charging stations for our cars. So I think this is a strong sign for Tesla going forward, right? I think that Tesla is going to be a strong company going forward. And I think that that it's a good deal. So one last thing I want to talk about before we talk about the event in New York is that I forgot to talk about this, is the AI stock that I think is gonna, if I had to pick an AI stock out of all the AI stocks that are out there, which I think is gonna do good. Let me see my notes here. Yeah. All right, so I can't find it, but I kind of remember. So it's the 2A stock, the last AI stock I want to talk about. I skipped it. But and I think if I had to pick 2 AI stocks that I think are going to benefit from this retail interest, I think AMD. I think at this point, I think AMD will probably go up far faster percentage-wise than Nvidia right now because, like I said, the retail investors and other people that are coming in are looking for the next Nvidia. And the company that matches Nvidia the most is AMD. So an AMD is a cheaper price, is not as big as Nvidia. It doesn't have as much enough market share as Nvidia. So people are going to look at AMD as maybe copying Nvidia. So next week is more than likely going to be AMD's week. I think that's going to AMD's, and then another one is Palantir. Palantir is an AI stock that has contracts with the government. They analyze big data, and they also have a lot of AI applications they're working on. I think that though, if I had to pick two AI stocks out of all the AI stocks out there that were going to be big next week and the week after, I would say AMD and Palantir. Those are the two stocks that I think are going to do well going forward. Somebody put those AMD, A as in Apple, M as in man, D as in Danny. Intel too, but if I had to pick AMD or Intel, I'd pick AMD. So with that being said, last thing I want to talk about is the event in New York. Remember, we got virtual tickets and we got in-person tickets. I hope you can make it in person. If you can't make it in person, the virtual tickets are there. If you DM me the word NYC, I'll send you the link. Or you can just DM me the word NYC on Instagram. I'll send you the link. Or you can click the link in my bio. Or you can go to, or you can just, message me. And I'll put the link in YouTube right now. So I'll just put the link in the YouTube. So like I said, I'm going to give you guys, the virtual is sold out. Now the virtual is sold out at 47. It's not sold out at, virtual's not sold out. Let me see if it's sold out. No, it's on sale. The virtual's not sold out. I'm looking right at it. All right, so like I said, the early bird sold out, not the regular one. You guys missed the early bird. Too late. That being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Like I said, DM me if you have any questions. Hope you guys have a great night, and I appreciate you joining me for Strategy Sunday.